A college admissions director wishes to estimate the mean age of all students currently enrolled. In a random sample of 20 students, the mean age is found to be 22.9 years. From past studies, the standard deviation is known to be 1.5 years. The population is normally distributed. Question says, hey, construct a 90% confidence interval of the population mean age of these students. Remember that when you have level of confidence 90%, critical value is 1.645. For 95%, the critical value is 1.96. For 99%, the critical value is 2.575. Let's take a look at calculator for a bit to feel comfortable calculating these critical values one by one. So to calculate the critical value when you have 90% level of confidence, go to second, vars, and find inverse norm. When you go to inverse norm, you need to enter the area, the mean, and sigma. For a 90% level of confidence, 10% of the area is divided up into two pieces, 5%, 5%. So we're going to enter 0.05. The mean is going to be 0 because this is a z-value. The standard deviation is 1. And suppose you want to find the right tail, go to the paste and hit enter. Enter again, and as you can see, you find the z-value 1.64448 or 1.645. So if you have a 90% level of confidence, the critical value is 1.645. What if you have a 95% level of confidence? So again, go to second, vars, use arrow keys to find inverse norm. Now the area, you have 5% divided by 2, so you get 0.025. Mean must be 0, standard deviation 1. And suppose it is right tail. If you use left tail, you get a negative value. Enter again, and as you can see, you have 1.96 as the critical value for 95% level of confidence. Now for the 99% level of confidence, the critical value is 2.575. If you go to second, vars, and go to inverse norm, hit enter. Now you have 1% divided by 2. 1% is 0.005. Mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. The tail is on the right. Hit paste again. So as you can see, you have z value, which is 2.5758. You can leave it as 2.576 or leave it as 2.575. So that's how you find your critical values if you don't remember the table below. Let's go back to our question. Since sigma is given to us and sample is random and the population is normally distributed, we're going to use the formula for the margin of error E. We're using n to be 20, the average, which is 22.9, sigma is 1.5, and critical value for 90% level of confidence, which is 1.645. N is 20 because the random sample has 20 people. X bar for the sample average is 22.9. Sigma is 1.5 years, the standard deviation of population from past studies. The margin of error formula is ZC, or the critical value, times sigma divided by square root of n. This can be written as ZC, which is 1.645, times sigma, which is 1.5, over square root of 20. This is approximately about 0.6. Okay, we have the distance. What about the confidence interval itself? The 90% confidence interval can be written as x bar plus minus margin of error, which is 22.9 plus minus 0.6, or x bar minus e, which is 22.9 minus 0.6, or 22.3. This is your left endpoint. And the right endpoint is x bar plus e, which is approximately 22.9 plus 0.6, or 23.5. So you can say that, hey, we are 90% confident that the mean average age of all students is between 22.3 and 23.5 years. Now let me show you how to use your calculator to find the confidence interval. Okay, let us share the screen and at the same time have the data ready. So here, go to Stat and then go to Tests. So we went to Stat, then Tests. Now we need to find the Z interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We want to find the Z interval. Click Enter. We don't have the actual data, so use the arrow key to go to Stat. In the Stat, we know that the sigma is 1.5 years. So hit 1.5. What is X bar? X bar is 22.9. 22.9. What is N? We have, let's see, 20 students, so 20, and the level of confidence is 90%, so 0.90. Let us hit calculate by entering, and as you can see, the confidence interval is 22.348, which is 22.3, and 23.45, which is 23.5 if you use approximation. So basically, calculator calculates everything very fast and easy for you. Let me show you again. So you need to go to Stat, then use arrow key to go to Tests, not the Z test, the Z interval. You want to build a confidence interval. So you go to Z interval, hit Enter. You don't have the actual data, so you're going to select statistics. If you enter the data into your table, like column L1, L2, L3, then you can use data. But for now, since we have the actual statistics, we're going to hit stats. And then sigma is given to us in the question. Standard deviation, or sigma, is 1.5 years. X bar, the average is 22.9. N is the number of people in the sample, 20. The confidence level is 90%, because the question says construct a 90%. Then go to calculate and hit enter, and you get your confidence interval for the population mean age for these students in the college.